All right, recording. Just gonna draw a little something here. I had an idea for musical notes. All right, so musical notes are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats. So back to A. That's called an octave. I think that's how you spell it, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the eighth note is really the repetition of the first note. But you can also start with, let's say, E, E, F, G, and then you go A, B, C, D, and back to E, right? And that is another octave, just one octave lower, but the pattern repeats, and it's kind of like that on the guitar with the strings, or a bass for that matter, right? And it goes one note down each kind of string, or two notes maybe separated. Because, for example, if you have in my bass, you have the B string, then the E string. Wait, oh no, they do it backwards. They do it from the lower note to the top note. Anyways, B, E, A, then D, and then G. So in between each of the notes, you have a few notes, right? Right there. So let's see what they are. B, C, D, E, F. Wait, no, I messed up. Okay, B, C, D, E, 3, E, F, G, A, 3, B, C, D, 3, E, F, G. So on the third note. So there's two notes in between each one, here and here and here and here. Now in the middle of the 5-string bass, I have the center string, because I got 5 strings. So the other string down here is this one, and then the other string down here is that one. So I got 5 strings. So now on the middle string, there's a note. So the notes of a string, the sound frequency, right? It oscillates back and forth, kind of like a field. So it oscillates to one side and it oscillates to the other side. If it oscillates to the top, then bounces back down to the bottom, and so on and so forth. But technically, there's a little bit of side motion, so forward and backwards also, you know what I mean, in the actual sound space, right? Even though the string is going up and down, the sound wave is going in and out, right? So it vibrates in a way that if you look at it in 3D or third dimensional, the sound kind of goes like this, right? It's like this, right? And then it comes towards you and away from you, or back to 0, which would be the direct line right through the middle, right? The starting point, right? And then so it goes from this way to this way, and from this way to this way. And it resonates not only back and forth, but up and down or in and out, right? Like almost like that. So in this middle string, whenever you have the right, if you make kind of that one the root note to vibrate, when you play certain notes, like for example B and C, so B and C, right, would be yeah, here, B and C, and maybe also a D. So if you resonate the note, and then the chord, and then the note, and then the chord, and then the note, and then the chord, so you would have that open, right? The A note carries out its frequency through each of the strings. So it's kind of creating somewhat of a power chord. Open chord after each of the notes. Anyways, that was the idea there. But, oh yeah, the other one was, since you have 7 notes, right, kind of laid out kind of in this pattern somewhat, right? If you were to pick a center somewhere in here, it would be, let's say, the D. The D would be the center, right? So if you have one note in the center, let's call it 0 point, on each side you have a different note, right, from that same origin point. So let's say there's B note, right, no, C note, that little C there, and also the C note, right, and the E note. This would be the center note, right, center note. And then on the other side of the D you have the E. Right, there you go. That is the E on this side, right? And then at the end you have the A, the B, and the F. So let's make them a little bit lower in here. So like that, and like that for the B and the F. So we'll put this B and we'll put this F, right? And then you got the A and the G furthest away from the D, right? The furthest away, probably wouldn't be that stretch. Probably gets tighter as it goes outward. Maybe not. Anyways, so furthest away, A and G, right? But it vibrates back and forth, you know, and it's also not a line. It's a field, so like a sphere, it goes in and out, right? So on one side you have these. When the bounce comes back from the other side of the 0 point or the ether, right? Because this is outward, but let's say this is inward, right? Or the other way around, I guess it would be. But either way, outward and inward are only a matter of where you started from. because then it can go back to inward being this way, and outward being that way. Right? It goes in, but it goes out that way. So those are on one side, and then you got these on the other side. So you have, and then what you end up with is a coincidence of sound in between two complementary notes. And that's how you get some notes that kind of like each other, right? But this whole time you're in the key of D as the power chord. That's your power chord, where you get all the power for the other notes. So this note, gives power to the notes. Right? But it's a resonates, and that's why there's 7 notes, because the center note, whichever one it is, technically there's only one way, because it can't be these, and it can't be one of these. That's like, there's only one way it could work. If the center note is the D, right? Could there be? Of course it can. There's one note that's closest to the 0 point, right, of the vibration, and there's other notes that are secondary and third for low sounds, even further away, or high pitch sounds, because you would think that's the low, but it's actually a high. It's getting there faster, right? Because usually this is a little bit out of proportion, because technically a low one will be like this, while a fast one would be like that. Up and down, well, 2. That's like the difference. Now they would be symmetrical, of course, like, and then you have a center, right? Like that. So they travel through space like that, and then they dissonate. But that's pretty much it. That's all I got. I think that was pretty eye-opening for me while I was playing the bass, that there is a note that's centered. In your mind's eye, you see, you always see linear, but I always see like things in like shapes, right? This is just a rotation, and this can be going the other way around. But what happens is it restarts again. Why does it restart? Oh, it's not, but it makes sense like this. So it's not the end and the beginning, but it's beginning, then the end, then back to the beginning, of the resonance, or the frequency, or the vibration, whatever it is. All right.